Welcome back to another episode of Midjourney Monday. We are excited to look at the character reference tool. We know that many of you are familiar with it, but as we like to do here, we just engage in different explorations with different features and get to try them out. So we're excited to look at how we can take a character and follow them through different use cases. Sometimes you might want to have a professional reason for using a consistent character, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
As Jacob said, we may want to use a consistent character in a variety of different functions, be they in digital media or print media. Let's say we're doing a brochure and we're struggling with some genuine stock photography. We can use these AI tools to create consistent characters that we can infuse into marketing collateral that we create. So what are our first steps today with this consistent character? How are we generating a consistent character?
Well, so we've done some practice runs, and if you see my screen, I'm just kind of rerunning this prompt. We did some tests, and we kind of decided what we would look for in terms of a professional photo. We don't want something like this, artistic. We want to start with a face that's very clearly seen so that we can look at those features and say, yeah, I want to keep recreating that face. And so we decided to start with a photo of a corporate professional portrait. That makes sure that there's no background, no scenery or potential, theme that follows your character as they go through different settings. And I'll be doing a man, and Warren will be doing a woman. But first off, we're putting in this general kind of basic prompt, a corporate professional portrait of an attractive young man in his 20s, brunette, piercing blue eyes, fit, light gray background, editorial photograph that's going to help us get a nice defined and detailed image. And that's where we're starting. So I'm not quite happy with this. I'm going to rerun this a couple more times until I find one I really like. And then I believe Warren is doing the same. Do you already have like your basic avatar you're going to be using?
Yeah, I'm going to use this number 4. I like her. She has she looks, like she has some Hispanic features to her. She's got some nice flowing hair, and she's got nice features. So I'm going to use her. I'm going to open this up in my web browser, and we're going to grab the link. So that's what you do when you do a new character. You make your character, as we're doing, with these high fidelity kind of look and feel, with a lot less detail in the backgrounds and more focused on their face so that we get that content. And then we create something like something else. So we create a scene and then we infuse the character into that scene. So what are we going to do with this one? Let's imagine she's in a coffee shop. I'm going to put her in a coffee shop, young woman.
I'm also going to put my person in a coffee shop. I've picked a picture that I'm okay with. So we're going to see if we can get that consistent character. So Warren is showing you how you can do this in the Discord interface. In the online Midjourney interface, you select your picture. You can select use image, and then you're provided these options. So if you hover here, you'll see that that's use it as an image prompt. This is to use it as a style reference, and this is to use it as a character reference. Once you use the character reference prompt, it's going to copy them, their clothes and everything. So if you need to change their clothes, then you need to use the character weight. We'll look at that in a bit. But I just want to have a young professional sitting in a coffee shop and working. And then I'm going to put a character weight of about 50, which might probably, I'm going to guess it might take away his sport coat and leave him with the white shirt, but it might do more than that. I want to keep going with some high quality photos for now. So I'm going to keep up editorial photography and see what we get. What did you get? Let's see how you...
So my really simple prompt, it kind of de-aged her, made her even younger, but the features are there and she's browsing her phone. But because I didn't do some specifics like you were talking about, I wanted to see what it did just generically with the character. And it seems to have de-aged her. But now let's adjust that prompt and make her doing something else. So we're going to keep this and we're going to update it and change it. I mean, you can see the features of that character, but she looks a little younger this time. So we're going to say woman we're going to stop with the young, so that might have impacted that. Sitting at a coffee shop browsing her phone. We're going to add the editorial photography to it.
So I've got my first coffee shop renditions over here. So like I said, I wanted to go landscape, but you can see that you generally get a consistent character, even though these are portrait styles. But once we get to the landscape, this is kind of more along the lines of what I was hoping to get. You'll notice that due to the character weight, he is still wearing a jacket, but it's not like the blazer that he had in his professional photo. And the color has changed. So this one is a blazer, but it's brown. On this one, this is kind of what I was thinking with that lower character weight. So 100 is where it's the default setting. So if we did 100, he'd be wearing a jacket. At 50, he's not necessarily. And in fact, I'm going to rerun this with a character weight of 100, just so that you can see the difference. And so let's back this off here. Okay, let's run this one so you can see how he looks with the jacket in kind of the same setting. And you'll see that that character weight does, yeah. So I knew that on every single one of these, we were going to have the same jacket we had in our original corporate photo. Yeah, so he looks like he's working in the coffee shop. There you go. What are you up to, bro?
Okay, so I'm changing it to woman sitting at a coffee shop browsing her phone, wearing a light fall coat, a pumpkin spice latte close at hand, editorial photography, and we're doing the landscape, and then I put a character reference of 25, and then we'll run that and we'll see how that translates. So we removed the young, so I think that impacted some of the look, because our initial prompt, if we go back and look at that, is a professional corporate portrait of a young woman in her mid-20s, and you can see that she has more of those adult features with a less round face, more angular chin and jaw, where our initial prompt, she looks like she may have been from, a local school, a high school or something of that nature. And in this, well, that is interesting. Look, it really focused on the latte at the top corner.
With that pumpkin spice latte. That's what we're focused. Welcome to Starbucks advertisement, right?
Yep, exactly.
So
it has more of the angular features, but it still makes her very young, and really drove up her eyebrows. So that's really interesting. So it's having a tougher time with this character than with yours. Yours is really kind of spot on.
One of the things that I noticed, and this is from our previews as well before we got started, is that it tends to, and this could be, we've seen this evolve with Midjourney versions. It does tend to sexualize these young corporate women, right? Like as we put them in, we found that some of them weren't dressed similarly to men in terms of like just that professional look and feel, and didn't seem as real. Like they did seem more AI than some of the guys we were getting. So I think there's an element of bias in the model that hopefully will get out over time. Maybe if you started with a character that was more woman in her 30s, I wonder if there would be less distortion. You know what I mean? Because of the training.
Let's try that out. Let's try that out.
I'm gonna take my young professional guy, and I also decided to take away young just to see what kinds of variations we can get. But I'm going to put him in a conference room giving a corporate presentation in the same clothes. But I know that this is, again, more of the same. I want to eventually take him out of the work environment and into the world, having fun, doing something. We're going to start changing his outfit. But you can already see that to an untrained eye or somebody who's not looking too close, this is potentially going to be looking like the same person. And so you could see how you could use this in a flyer, potentially on like social media accounts. You could create a cast of people that you use to advertise your business, which would be interesting to think about. And so you can see that. Are you generating a new profile just to kind of start over?
I am generating a new profile to start out, to see if we can get her to be a little on the older side.
I'm going to put my guy in a convertible. He's driving to the beach. I'm going to keep editorial photography to try to keep getting high quality images, but I'm going to take the character weight and I'm going to put it to 0. This should change his clothes. So for those of you who aren't familiar with consistent characters in Midjourney and character weights, we're going to change clothes and see where that gets us. Because we're now out of the office. He's driving a convertible to the beach. Yeah, see, look, now he's in a t-shirt. In some of these, I like some of these. Yeah, there he is.
Fantastic. Oh, yeah, look at that.
We even get some chest hair in this one for some reason. Nice sunglasses too, you know, but it's generally the same face.
I'll put her driving a sports car as well.
You're going to have her driving a sports car?
Yeah.
Okay. So she looks older. She reminds me of the character from the movie Big. You know, Tom Hanks is in it, and then the woman he works with. Yeah.
Let's see. So what is your prompt here? Yeah. Man, woman.
Young man driving a convertible to the beach. So young woman driving a convertible to the beach, editorial photography.
Oh, and I need to put editorial photography.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep. Although I've noticed that it hasn't been consistent. Like some of the images I've generated don't look like photos necessarily. Like there's some synthetic kind of appearance to some of these elements as I look at
right. Like maximized Photoshop.
Well, yeah, this one is in particular doesn't look like a photo at all to me. You know, so there are touches where it gets it right. I feel like the character reference is incredibly useful. Like you can get some amazing pictures and obviously consistent results. That's the point. Dude, look at your pictures. I love her hair blowing back. Look at that.
Oh, wow. So it went full fashion photography and then totally ignored the character reference in 2 of these.
Well, it was just focusing on that hair. But it kept curly hair, right? Like that is a character reference element. And that's kind of impressive, actually.
Let's change this, though. I don't want the fashion photography.
You want a front view of a woman driving, right? Like that'll make sure you see her face. Or how else would you phrase that?
Let's say 50%. And then side profile, photo of a woman driving convertible to the beach. Well, let's get rid of the beach. Maybe that's what's adding some of those elements because she's at the beach exactly. And then close up. Let's say close up. Really focus
there
on
you
the face.
Go. Close-up view. That'll make sure that it focuses on her face. You can see that we're replicating the same person. Although, again, you can see that with the hair and the profiles.
Oh, I like your guy at the gym. That's awesome.
Right. So I thought, where else can we take him? What's reasonable? Although this one, his arms and legs are doing some weird things there.
Oh, wow.
There's Popeye the Sailor Man there. No, but we've got him here at the gym. He's shirtless here at the gym here. You know, I can't say much for the results. I can say a lot for the consistent character, but if we rerun this, I bet we can get some better results because there was some funky stuff in a couple of these pictures.
Here we go.
Yeah,
and so
look at you.
This one on the bottom left is pretty good. And again, I mean, as we have explained many times, this is a process. You have to tinker with this a lot to get it to create the results that you want. But as you refine your processes and your prompt skills, you'll find new ways of enhancing these particular things and get better results. So with this, we definitely see, she's got the same features, the curly hair, and she's very similar to this version. The studio lighting, though, I think is what's impacting mine. So if we change this I'm going to change this to studio lighting and see what happens here.
Well, I kind of want you to take her to the gym. I want to see what happens when you do that.
Okay.
I've taken my guy to the gym. I'm going to take him one more place. I'm going to take him to the park with a dog, and we'll see what happens there. But, you know, there are a lot of uses for consistent characters. We've seen different projects online. There are people who've made full-on comic books with this kind of thing because you can use character reference not just with realistic looking photos but with all kinds of art styles. And that's a whole different exploration. Like we didn't take these photos and then like say, let's do cubist, let's do oil painting, let's do, you know, but you could, and you would get the same character. But look, here he is with his dog. Now, if I showed you a picture of the original picture, this.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
And then I said, and here he is at the park with his dog, you'd probably think, yeah, that's the same dude. And these look like the same person. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. I guess though people could do some serious catfishing with this technology.
Okay, so they definitely kept more of the features, like in this.
She is
that
at
older
the gym.
version,
Look at
but
that.
it definitely has some biases that are involved with women, and they've got to work on their model, I think, a little bit for that particular reason. But compared to,
I feel like version 5 started to walk that back. Like version 5 didn't seem as sexualized to me, and I feel like they maybe thought they were overcorrecting on version 5 and went back on version 6. But like there's definitely some tweaking they're doing.
she's got some nice arms, though. Look at that right there. Those biceps are solid.
Nice. You'd like to see her arm wrestle Michelle Obama, right?
There you go.
That's a line from Ted Lasso. He's all like,
"Oh, is it?
I'd like to see you arm wrestle Michelle Obama." It's pretty funny. Anyway,
Funny. Fantastic.
Cool.
So this is consistent characters, and you can use it for a variety of reasons and needs as you develop marketing materials or personas. Let's say that you're working on a brand and you've got to create a persona portrait to put in that presentation to a client, and you want to use a consistent character throughout. Well, now you have a tool that you can do some mashups for advertising or other things in a presentation. For Jacob's purpose in law, I mean, there's any number of applications for that as well.
right. I think that there's plenty of opportunities to make social media, to make flyers, to make branding materials that, when you have models that are unique to your brand, you get a more consistent look and feel overall. This used to be the domain solely of powerful corporations with tons of money that could pull off stuff like this. But now literally anyone could, regardless of their product or service. And so this has been a really fascinating exploration with you, Warren. If you like what you
Always.
saw today, like and subscribe. Come back to our channel. We are happy to keep sharing more about Midjourney and more about other AI tools together with you. Thanks for visiting with us. Bye.